peeling these layers of old beliefs. Our last generation was in survival mode, so you and I did not have to be. What's up, guys? It's your girl Carol, and welcome back to my channel. On this channel, we talk all about mindset, growth, evolving, being that one in your family that can change the game. I want to start this video with this quote that I'm obsessed with. The quote is, "You do not have to come from wealth. Wealth can come from you." And just be clear, when I mean wealth overall, having a meaningful life, having money, yes, having happiness, okay? My favorite thing about evolving is that it is completely free and everybody is welcome. It does not matter the conditions that you grew up in, how much love, how much guidance you had. You are responsible for your future and only you can dictate where you go. I want to talk about how we can surpass our parents mentally, spiritually, and financially. And before we even get to any of those categories, I literally want to shout out our parents, because someone can only teach you what they know. A hustler's mindset was the most important thing to the last generation. And although I think that having a hustler's mentality is poppin', it's amazing, but it cannot be just that. And as I'm getting older, I'm realizing, and in my own life, that you have to understand your mind and you cannot just play the autopilot role. And I've never seen my parents or the adults in my life write in their journal. Take some time to meditate. Before I started my journey of trying to evolve myself and understand what is going on, what is this life even about, I was also in a hustler's mentality. I believed, because that's all I knew, that's all I would hear back then, is that you need to hustle your ass off. That is your mentality. Only way to be happy is how much do you make? How much money do you have in the bank? That is going to determine how happy you are able to be. Because they didn't have access to so much information like we do now, that they probably didn't even know that there was a little voice inside. They weren't even aware of the negative thoughts happening. They were just on autopilot. Whatever the outer world would dish out to them, they would just work with it. What can we do moving forward? Become responsible. Think outside the box. Go online, use the technology. Technology is not just entertainment. How can you use technology to learn? I have time to work on my mindset. I'm learning so much more about me, about how I can evolve. So that when I have kids, the most important thing is going to be up here in your mind, not being on autopilot, not working hard, because my parents did that for me so that I don't have to do that, so that my kids don't have to do that. I want to open up the possibilities that you can think a different way, that life can be a little different. The last generation's idea of what is possible is this big, right? Now that I have understood my mind and did the research, I know that more possibilities are open. So not only me doing the research for me, but I also spread awareness to my family, to my mom, to my uncles, to my sister, to anyone who wants to learn. Because if I know that my opportunity, my dreams, my goals, my options are more, then I also want to be responsible in teaching others and showing them with my actions that there is more to just being on autopilot. Spirituality is something that is fairly new to me still. I would confuse spirituality with religion. And I believe that is because my parents weren't taught to be spiritual. I think that religion was more forced, maybe in the last generation than it is now. And I feel like if you were born Catholic, if you were born Jewish, then that's just what you were, and you would go to church. Like, not because I chose that, is because I was born into that. Like, people who I thought were spiritual before were just like hippies, you know, like, yeah, peace to the world, yeah, everyone, let's love each other. And I used to like almost taunt them and be like, what, bro, like, come make some money, like, you know. But That's because, once again, my parents didn't have time to be spiritual. They were working. They were trying to make a living so that I could eat. In their mind, spirituality was being religious. So as long as you went to church every Sunday, like, you were doing your part. But as I'm getting older, and because we have so much more technology and we're able to connect with people in different parts of the world and learn about newer and different ideas, spirituality is me literally like peeling these layers of old beliefs, other people's beliefs, the old generation's beliefs, things that are really not even relevant to today, and really digging deep in me, myself, in my thoughts and in my heart, and asking myself, what do you truly believe? What do you care about? What do you love to do? What will make you happy? And instead of me looking at the outer world for all these answers, I need to look within myself. I've become spiritual through yoga. Again, never seen my parents do yoga. Hardly even stretched. I don't know what my mom loves to do. I don't know things that make her happy. When I think about my parents and I think about my dad, I don't know what their hobbies were. I feel like they didn't have hobbies. They didn't do things that filled them. I only lived 28 years of autopilot. Our parents, 50, 60, the last generation, had to live in a world where self-love was not important. I almost fell victim to that as well, because I would trade all my time for my job. And there was nothing that made Carolina happy. I was still functioning because that was what I was taught to do, just keep going. But it wasn't until I really sat down with myself and I started to ask myself these questions like, what can I do for you, Carol? What can I do to make you happy? And I feel like, yes, mindset is important and finances and everything is important, but learning to look within yourself has to be the hardest thing that I have been learning to do. But I know that that is something that I have to learn how to do so that when I do have kids and my new friends and new people that I meet, they're going to learn that part of me too. Mindset and spirituality, not working on those two things, I believe is why people start having midlife crisis. Wake up one day, they're 50 years old and they're like, fuck, I'm so unhappy. I hate my wife. I hate my kids. I hate my job. But it's because they never were taught, or they never had the time, or it was never important to figure those key essential things out. What was important was how much you were making. What are you doing with your time? What do you have? I want to see what you have, and I'll let you know if you're happy or not. I had like a midlife crisis 2 years ago because I was at a job. I was making a lot of money. I had the apartment of my dreams. I had the perfect relationship, right? But I was so unhappy because I was not spiritual. I did not have anything that filled my cup. I didn't do things that I love to do. I didn't have hobbies. I would lie to myself and say I like to do things, but I didn't have a hobby. So when I became responsible in filling my cup, my whole life has changed since then. Parents taught me to work super hard to save all my money just in case something would happen, or save up and have a house. That way you own something, never finance or lease your cars. You need to own them. Cash is king. Don't put anything on the credit card. If you got it, pay for it. Again, this advice may have worked a couple years ago, but in today's world, that's just not the case. So for you to evolve financially and be that one in your family to literally change the game, you have to build your financial IQ. Like the last generation and our parents were taught to work and work your way up the ladder so that one day you can be the boss. I personally think that that's great advice. However, you do not have to trade all your time for someone else's dream. Do you have to do the dirty work? Absolutely. But you don't have to be an assistant for 10 years and work your way up for 10 years. Like, where are we going, sis? How long is this ladder that we're climbing? Example goes back to mindset also. Because if your mindset, if you think that what you're capable of is this much, then this is all you're going to be. See, mindset, spirituality, finances, all of these connect. How can my parents teach me to be the boss when they don't even believe that they can be the boss? That their bubble of what is possible is this big. So you've reached the top, sis. If you are an assistant, if you have a government job, if the government is going to take care of you in the future, sis, you have a city job, oh, you good. You don't gotta worry about nothing. That we have to become responsible in taking that ceiling and keep on rising, girl. I don't know about you, but I love high ceilings, okay? Last generation had a very bad relationship with money. He's in lack of money. And I feel like that was a mindset before. You always need more money. You always need more money. And I feel like this is still actually current today. There are people that just want money. And although having money does make your life easier and it could even make you a little happier, it is not the most important thing. Making money in 2022 is like, if you don't make money, it's because you don't really want to. Don't make the mistake of thinking that either one of these is more important than the other, because honestly, all of them connect. If you're not right up here, if you're not right up here, and if you're not right here, everything's gonna go to shit. In my life, I thought that the finance part was more important than the other two. So I did what I had to do to get that financial freedom that I thought was financial freedom, but it wasn't, because I was not right up in the head. I didn't love myself. I didn't think I could do more than what I was already doing. And the most important thing is I just wasn't happy. I did what the adults that I thought were successful in my life did, and I wasn't happy. And I became responsible when I started to do my research. There has to be a better way to live. It can't just be all about money and working and putting our feelings and our negative thoughts to the side. That can't be the way. So I'm so excited for you. And I hope that this video has confirmed that you are in the right mindset, that there are people that are thinking like you, that living in autopilot is just not it. And there is a better way to live your life if you do become responsible for continuing to evolve mentally, spiritually, and financially, because truth is that money is important. It is important to be able to have the freedom to not go to work if you don't want. Have the freedom to go to your kids' show, birthday parties. Have the freedom to say no and think about yourself, to understand your mind, and you be the creator of the world and not allow the outer world to keep on keeping us down. We need to continue to learn and continue to be open to more possibilities. And technology, I love it, because in my life, I do not just use technology as a form of entertainment. I use technology to connect with different type of people, learn different ways of life, different ideas, different beliefs. Because one thing that I know my parents did not do is my parents weren't able to connect with people from around the world. My parents stuck with the same type of people they grew up with. A lot had to do with the language, again, with the time, with what they had in their hustle mentality, what they had to do to survive. But it's our responsibility not to be in survival mode. Our parents, our last generation, was in survival mode, so you and I did not have to be. I want to hear from you guys too. Let me know in the comments by writing, I am becoming responsible for evolving, that this video has helped you. It has sparked something in you that I know that you want and need and deserve. If you want to continue to help yourself and help other people, keep on evolving, keep on growing, keep on challenging yourselves. And I know that it may be hard sometimes to find people that are on the same path as you or are thinking the way that you do, but we are out here, trust me. I hope that I have dropped a few gems for you, and maybe you start a conversation tomorrow with a coworker or a friend and pick their brain about how their journey's going. I'm so excited to hear from you guys. Please make sure that you write me down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.